Welcome to the Random Encounter Show. I'm Deathstalker V, coming in for our first table talk of 2025. And I think it's going to be quite exciting. Yeah, at least for me. We've got a whole lot to talk about, a whole lot of ground to cover. So we're just going to shoot off into it. But I will say that if you're new around here and wonder what the heck have you wandered into, our subscribers and myself, we welcome you, the Random Encounter Army. Very much a community-based YouTube channel here. There's links in the description of the video to our Discord, Facebook group, etc. that if you want to get in, share your hobby, talk to fellow gamers and hobbyists and such, it's all there for you, and you are most welcome to jump right in. When we do table talk episodes, what I try to do, and most all of our episodes, honestly, but what I try to do is make it feel like you're here with Deathstalker V in the Fortress of Doom. Normally we're at the gaming table, but it's currently filled with a bunch of gaming stuff I bought in Biloxi recently, and I'm sorting through and organizing it and getting it sold on eBay to build war funds up. So we're back here in the studio, but it's just an open-ended discussion. You get the mind, the heart, and the passion for my hobbies directly from me. No script needed, right? Right. This episode, we're actually going to be diving off into tabletop solo RPGing. Sort of our main topic around here, if we have one. We cover all kind of stuff. I've got a lot of hobbies and a lot of stuff I like to talk about. But sort of our main driving force of what this show's about. And probably one of the most frequent things I get in from people that see the show is they hear me talk about solo RPGing in the way that I do it, sort of a sandbox, procedural, or generative style of gaming. And they hear me talk about oracles and tables and charts and RPG systems, and they said, where the heck do I even begin? And I said, my number one place is if you're going to buy something in which to utilize for your hobby, it would be something that's been around since I think 2014 or so, a good decade, and I haven't seen it outdone. It's a one-book resource. It's called Scarlet Heroes. Yeah? Most everyone that's in the solo RPG scene probably knows about this. What is Scarlet Heroes in case you don't know about it? Well, Scarlet Heroes is in itself, it has a full role-playing game or rule system inside of it, a full setting inside of it. But what most people get interested in is the solo tools inside of it. It has pretty much as a one-book resource. I haven't seen this outdone. Yeah, it's got a great oracle. It's got random encounter charts based on locations. It's got a dungeon generator. It's got treasure generator. It's got a social interaction table. It's got adventure hooks. It's got inspiration tables. It's got NPC generators. It's got just everything you might need for your solo gaming outside of making some of your own tools specifically for your game at the table. Yeah? That being said, I'm not a huge fan of the OSR rules in this. Especially not a fan of having OSR rules and then having rules to replace those rules. Rules on top of rules on top of rules. We'll get into that in an episode soon on my advice for solo gaming. So the OSR system, I love old school Dungeons and Dragons and such. But when you have to modify over and over and over the system, I'm not a huge fan of that. You know, instead of coming up with new rules to throw on top of rules, just learn to scale your game. Yeah, that's just that easy, but we'll get into that in a later episode. The other thing is the setting for this. The setting is somewhat interesting, but I'm just not into sort of feudal Japanese or Oriental style adventures. Yeah, that's not really my dive. Samurais and ninja and such things. I mean, it's cool. Back in the day, I would have probably been big into it, but it just doesn't tickle my fancy. What I do and why I recommend this book, though, are those solo tools that are involved in here. You can take those solo tools. You can take out all the setting specific stuff that's in it from this game and load your own into it from your game. No matter what setting or what genre you're playing, this works well for that. Like I said, it's a toolbox. The tools are sort of interlinked in here in the way that you use them to get a comprehensive, cohesive, and hopefully rational game on your table in which to throw your character or characters into the world that you want to make sort of a living, breathing place to explore. Yeah? That being said, this was, like I said, this is the #1 resource I have to tell people about. We will do a video on Scarlet Heroes soon enough. Yeah, it's definitely in the mix. Show you what's in here, show you how I use it, etc. But something else is going on in the solo RPG scene. Yeah? I have a box sent into the show that may contain something that either rivals Scarlet Heroes or actually outdoes it when it comes to being a toolbox for solo RPG play. Yeah. That's exciting news for me. Pickpocket Press. Yeah? The guy that runs that, his name is Steve. I'm terrible with Polish names. I apologize. But Steve Grodzika. Yeah? I think that's the best way to pronounce it. In fact, I've spoken with him. In fact, I think we're going to become fast friends. I'm speaking to him quite often over the last few days. But he made me laugh so hard when he says, you know, this is how my family pronounces it, but we're not even sure. You know, I love that. I love that. But he's just released something called Tales of Argosa. Yeah? And he contacted me, wanted to know if he could send over the game. It's just releasing off Kickstarter. It's about to go available. It's already available as a PDF on drive-thru. Link down below. I'll put a link down to Scarlet Heroes down below too. Affiliate links. Use them. They help us out here. But he says, I'm going to send you the PDF. I'm going to send you the stuff that we've got out for it. But I want to send you over because I know that you aren't much on PDFs and you like your physical games. And I said, yes, of course. And we have to give a big shout out to our friend Dungeon Dumbo. He's a channel member. He's in the Rogues Gallery here. He set up the initial contact after seeing, he did an unboxing of this game on his channel. And he set up the contact with Steve to, you know, and said, hey, get with Deathstalker 5. I think this is going to be right up his alley. Yeah. So big thank you to Dungeon Dumbo and especially Steve over at Pickpocket Press. So I have looked at the PDFs of this, yeah? And I'm very impressed with what I've seen. We're going to open this up, take a look at it. This is absolutely in no way to be in any kind of way construed as a review of anything. Yeah, this is literally just opening the box up, taking a look at it and talking about what we see. I don't use the term review lightly here on the Random Encounter Show because I don't believe unless I've had that game on the table and really put it through its paces for a good length of time that I could ever give a fair review to something. You know, we're not one of these Yahoo channels over here that review something 2 days after they get it, and then you hear, you know, 5 months down the road of how they loved it when they first got it, and then it's not so great 5 months later. No, no, no. You come here for solid advice, right? That's what I try to give you. Anyway, I want to dig into this, and let's take a look and see what we got. This time, I did remember co-star of the show. Here's Lucky! And let's dig in here and see what we got. Yeah? I think you guys are going to be impressed. I asked Steve, and he did say the print-on-demand version of this, if you want a physical book. It will be available sometime later January or maybe early February. They're waiting to their Kickstarter is completely fulfilled before they release it on drive-thru. So we're lucky to get anything, yeah? I have no idea how this escaped my attention. Big failure from the Random Encounter Army. Yeah, you guys know I love stuff like this. Everybody in the world seems like they're getting a copy of it. No one even told Deathstalker V that it existed, yeah? You guys know I don't sit here and like watch gaming news and follow Kickstarters and stuff. So you gotta look out for old Deathstalker V sometimes. He's literally a hermit that lives way out in the wilderness in Alabama. He has no idea what's going on. Okie dokie. Let's set some stuff to the side here. Oh, that's a hefty book. I know the PDF, you know, when it comes to PDF, you can see a large page count, but it really doesn't become apparent till you really get the book, and whoa, is it beautiful. Tales of Argosa. Yeah, this is a really, I can just tell right off the bat. I don't, you know, Drive-Thru is not going to create books like these. I don't know how they're going to do it. Yeah, this version of the book may be available later. You guys, I will link to Pickpocket Press, and you guys can stay a watch there. But I can tell you that this book is quality. I see sewn binding. Yeah, I see sewn in what appears to be silk ribbon bookmarks. 2 of them. Yeah, this is quality. This is quality. Let's just open this up. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Yeah, we're going to have to turn the camera around, but we got this book. We're going to open it and just start taking a look at it here in a second. But also included with Tales of Argosa is a set of Oracle-style dice. Yeah? Going to be taking a look at these, see what they're talking about in the book. But there's quite a few different dice you can use for various applications. I like that they... Oh, and it... Let me slow down a little bit. I'm going to say that with the dice and also this deck of signs, a card deck, that they are multiple use items in your solo game, or as a GM that's doing some more impromptu gaming without much planning. These serve as multi-use items to determine things in your game world. They sort of take the place of an oracle. Yeah, that's interesting to me. Let me get something to drink here. So yeah, I'm definitely excited. Why don't we just go around? Why don't we just go ahead, if I can speak English, please. Turn the camera around and let's just dive off into this and see what we see, yeah? Alright, let me get organized here a little bit. The table's sort of a mess. Move some of these miniatures out the way. Iron Maiden Power Slave, you can go back over there. Yes, so this is what we got. These are the dice. Very nice quality dice. Like I said, multi-use from what I read in the PDF. We'll take a look at these in the book itself. And then you have your deck of signs. Let's pop these open and take a look real quick. Just grab a card. Okay, really nice thick card. Rounded edges. Love the artwork there. I'm going to take a look at a few more of the cards. Why not? Yeah, love the artwork there. This game is billed as a low fantasy game. Yeah, my kind of thing. I like low fantasy. I would rather hang out with Conan conquering the world than Bilbo at the Shire. You know what I mean? Just me personally. So anything low fantasy is going to get my attention. And I think the artwork from what I've seen so far is definitely going to match that theme. The cards are very interesting. We're going to talk about stuff on these cards when we take a look at them in the book. Yeah? And we're going to do a quick skim through of this book. First off, look at that cover. The quality of this is fantastic. Yeah, I'm just telling you, with the sewn in binding, when I first opened it, when we just pulled it out of the box, I seen these end papers. I absolutely love when printers and publishers and such do something with the end papers. This is actually intriguing to me because it looks like just about everything you would need to be on a Game Master screen. Yeah? Set it up like this. Have your charts and damage modifiers and all this kind of stuff in front of you and be able to roll your dice as a Game Master. I think that's brilliant. I can't believe I haven't seen this done before. Now, if you're asking about the game itself, the rules itself, taking a look at the rules, this is very much an OSR style game. I believe the base of the rules was actually 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons, and Steve mixed in stuff from his favorite editions, and then because I'm not a huge fan of OSR games, they've become like shovelware. They have to do things differently to get my attention. He took the rules and he modified them and did a whole lot of stuff different with them, so that it doesn't just feel like a standard D&D style clone. Yeah? Now, the art team needs big kudos here. When it comes to low fantasy and old school games and such, this is what I want to see. Look at the art in this book. This is one thing we're going to be paying attention to. I know that art doesn't necessarily make a great RPG, but it can make a great RPG book, and art's important to me because it's evocative of the genre and theme of the game, and it helps put me in the mindset and fires off my imagination in order to create scenarios or get enthused about the game itself. So definitely kudos to the art team here. Now we get our table of contents. We're just going to skim through this. From what I read in the PDF, everything's laid out in a great organizational manner in order for that if you've never played an RPG before, this is going to be quite easy to get a gist of the rules and dive right into. Yeah? Like I said, don't come to this thinking that it's a standard D&D clone. There's a lot of different mechanics going on and a lot of different stuff added to it to make it very much a low fantasy theme. And the setting to this game, Argosa, is somewhat built in, though I love the way Steve wrote this, where it's easily divorced from Argosa and can be used as a general low fantasy game for just about any setting that you want. So we go in here, we got backgrounds. These type of tables, you can use them for your player characters. Like I said, as a solo gamer, you got to see tools and realize that all this stuff is useful. You know, it's all useful that if you got an NPC and you need to know a little bit more about them, or you need to know about a career or background or whatever, there's a quick chart in which to get some information off of. And you're going to see those charts all through this book. But like I said, the artwork here is absolutely killer. This is just right up my alley. So let's, when it comes to classes, one thing you'll need to know, the big separation out here is that this isn't a high fantasy game. So magic has become a little bit different here. There's not a whole lot of magic available. In low fantasy, magic should be rare and it should be dangerous. Yeah? And normally in those style games, sorcerers and such people, they're the bad guys. Yeah? So the magic here has been cut back to fit exactly that type style of setting. Absolutely love it. And you only have, what, 2 magic classes in this. Barbarian. Yeah, I know how to roleplay a barbarian. But you get just class after class of stuff that'll easily fit into your game. When it comes to setting material, you'll get suggestions that if you're going to play in the world of Argosa, you know, you'll get the gods and things that your clerics and such could follow in that world. But again, he's divorced it enough that you can throw in whatever world setting you want and run your game off of this. He also introduced sort of a flat rate hit points for characters, that you don't have a huge range or massive range of hit points. And it's normally scaled to level 9 gaming. I like that. That's particularly useful for solo players. That you don't have characters that you roll up or create that either don't have enough hit points to really be functional in the game when it comes to combat, or they have so much that it makes it feel like, you know, Cupcake and Candyland style game. So let's just breeze through here. All of your standard classes and things that you may want are covered, obviously. Again, party bonds and such. Again, useful. All this stuff's useful for your solo gaming, for creating and running your world. This may be my favorite piece of art out of this book. Yeah, I know in the PDF this one just caught me. I love the theme here. It reminds me of the never-ending story. Yeah, snail racing. So this game also introduces things like skills, where you can further customize your character. I think that's important for solo gaming, to really help you get in and create that one character you're really going to role play and have them be a little more versatile than old school D&D was set up to be. It has an attribute check system. Again, a must-have for any solo game. You want to have an attribute check system because you don't have a game master. Yeah, you want to be able to say, my character's going to, I don't know, jump off this table and slash this monster. And instead of the game master saying, okay, well, your character can jump off that table and try to slash the monster. Here, you don't have that. So you would do like a dexterity check for the jump off the table, and then your normal combat for the slash if you're successful jumping off the table kind of deal. And it has levels of difficulty, common sense stuff. I know in other games like Castles and Crusades, I see people complaining all the time like, I can't figure out what level or what difficulty to make a check. Just use common sense. Look at your character. If you've got a nimble thief who jumps rooftop to rooftop and such, a jump off the table should be fairly easy for them to do, yeah? Now, here we go with one of our first solo tables or improvised GM tables that we'll use the dice for. This one's for like an activity or status of what a group of monsters or NPCs or just a single NPC, what are they doing? And it's on this blue die here. So you have resting, traveling, working, eating, socializing, and threat. And different ways that intelligent creatures or non-intelligent creatures of what they're going to be doing and how to make that fit into your game at the time that you have to roll that. You'll also get reaction tables of how they treat you at the first, when you come across them at the beginning of the encounter. Like I said, this thing's just like Scarlet Heroes and maybe outdoing Scarlet Heroes. We don't know yet until we really put it through its paces. But this is looking like maybe the best solo toolbox to use no matter what game you're playing. Like I said, you get these tables. For whatever game you're playing, genre, whatever, you can take these tables that all interact with each other and just replace the entries with stuff specific to the game that you're going to play on your table. Like I said with Scarlet Heroes, it's not that hard to do. But as you can see, this game goes into quite a little bit of detail beyond what you would expect with the OSR movement. So you've got all types of critical hits and such, different classes, critical at different numbers on your D20 roll. That's good to know. Resting, you know that I was reading the description of the game on Drive-Thru. Steve wanted resting to not be something where your characters are mostly laying around trying to heal up and go on. No, this is very much oriented toward the days of high adventure. You know, so short resting, and you have actually a save and roll and such on this that you can quickly, you know, go from one combat to the next, keep exploring that dungeon, keep exploring that dark forest or wherever it is that you're at, and keep rolling without a whole bunch of lag time in your game time. So we get into sorcery. Like I said, dark and dangerous, yeah? Here's a whole, you know, table of effects of things that could happen to those who are brave enough, are crazed enough to get into sorcery in a low fantasy setting. Even the spells are set up on lists. Like I said, that you got a magic caster in the game you're battling. You want to know some of the stuff that they're going to try to cast, etc. No matter, you know, normally you put an AI behind your enemies. So for a magic caster to have a list of available spells and then be able to roll on it to surprise you of what spell they might actually cast is great. Then, you know, as normal, descriptions of the spells and such. But as you'll see, the spell and magic system's not a huge ordeal in this game. Like I said, it's been cut back. Low fantasy is all about swinging the sword, you know, going for adventure, swinging the sword, looking for loot, trying to conquer the world, trying to take down the Dark Lord, etc. But interestingly enough, there you get downtime periods, which most games really don't address so much. And again, multiple tables that can be used for your downtime for your characters, are even used for stuff like NPCs and such. So here's different things that characters can get involved with in their downtime when they're not out kicking butt on adventures. So like I said, involved detailed system that, yes, based on 2E, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons incorporates a lot of modern mechanics, very much streamlined, but a whole lot added to this to flesh out that game. Now, solo gamers, pay attention. GM tools, yeah? AKA solo gamer tools. Of any book you see that has GM tools in it, they're definitely useful for your solo game. There's diseases and parasites. I remember those from the first edition AD&D manual. Yeah, those parasites. That's one of my favorite tables. Other than the Harlot table. That one's great too. So yeah, you got, it comes up with, you know, like character, you know, meeting NPCs and encounters and such. There's what they're doing that covers that, how they treat you, who they could be, what they are, etc. Consult the bones. We're going to get there. But again, these dice here, multiple use across this entire system for the game master or solo player to use as an oracle. But look at all these wonderful tables. You've got travel events, overland, underground, voyages, etc. This is usually random encounters. Yeah, they're broke down. Aerial, city, town, village, deserts, jungles. Yeah, and I'm looking at it, and it's not just, oop, here's a monster, or, you know, oop, here's a trap. There's events and stuff mixed in here as well, and also things to find. Yeah? So that's wonderful. Too many random encounter charts just include enemies, or possible NPCs and such. I love the incorporation of not just beings in the world, but events, places, and things in the world as well. Backgrounds, personalities, traits for NPCs and such, hirelings. Like I said, useful all the way around. You even get catchphrases, yeah? So much is thrown in here. Madness, field events, and mass battle. Yeah, this book goes into mass battles as well. Love it, love it. Like I said, Steve, he's thrown everything into this. It looks like he could think of. So like I said, with a system like this, that's so well fleshed out, especially for solo play with all these tables and systems that are built in to build that world and keep the world moving and keep that story moving, telling you what's next on the road, etc. You get something that's full of that. It's not hard that you might come up on something every once in a while where you need to build just a little custom table. That's great. You know, that's fantastic that this covers so much territory. You'll have so many examples out of here of how to build these tables that you'll be able to do it just off the top of your head. Ooh, all kind of monsters and animals and such. Yeah? I think I saw that guy on Sesame Street. Dinosaurs. Oh, I can't wait to get this on the table, guys. I can't wait. I can't remember being excited for an OSR style game like this in a while. There's another one, we got Gunslinger. I'm very excited about that as well because it has a lot of these same tools in it. Nowhere near as much and not set up specifically for solo play if you want to do that, but very useful anyways. It's OSR, but it's really, really modified for the Western theme. This on fantasy though, for a fantasy game OSR, I haven't got this excited in a long time about an OSR game. Yeah, I'm absolutely digging this. I know what I'm going to be reading for the next couple of days. Thinking about, playing with in my head, getting it on the table and seeing what we can do. I love the fact that like these monsters and these animals and such, if you read the descriptions, they don't overwhelm you with a whole lot. Leaves a lot to the imagination. But you get different reactions for each of the monsters and such in here. So like the giant toad, for example, reaction if you rolled a 2 to 5 is combative, 6 to 8 it's hungry, 9 to 12 is languid. You know, this like I said, all this built in. Come on, guys. How can you not already be in love with this? Yeah? If it plays any way that it looks, this is the next big thing for solo RPG. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and say that. If this plays how it looks here, this is the next big thing. So much useful tools in here. So many. Okay, here we go. Here's our Oracle tools. So as you can see, the dice are used to answer yes and no questions and different things. You've got, I think this is the judgment dice, you know, the hammer of judgment, you know, the twins of fate. And are the twins and fate here. You know, you got your yes and you got your no. You know, if you look at this as like a Y, look at this like an N. Then you've got some blank sides to it. So not very hard to figure out. You've got this die. What is this die called? This is the fortune die. So you got a fortune and a misfortune. So you can use these dice in different combinations in order to get various different results. Whether you're interacting with an NPC, you're asking, is the cave entrance there, etc. You're going to be able to use these dice to generate answers that the game master would normally tell you. Again, you have this die. This you could find multiple use out of this. This is sort of what, you know, the activity die of monsters, NPCs, etc. that you encounter. Over here, you've got the deck of signs. Yeah? This is another Oracle style tool. There's a ton of information presented on these cards. Yeah, I absolutely reading a PDF and seeing this. I was absolutely intrigued by this. Number one, you have a direction indicator here. So if you had to ask a question like, okay, you rolled up an encounter, where are they compared to where our party is? And then you might roll up how far away are they. Up here you have nouns, verbs, adjectives, an ambience, tone, or mood, and also the picture itself. You're supposed to look at it. Maybe it triggers something in your imagination to add to your gaming, whether you're consulting this deck. Also, there will be moons or suns here, or mornings. Also, I think, yeah, you have a light sun morning, a dark sun, a light moon, or a dark moon. All of those have different meanings, and they can also be used to track time. So yeah, there's just a whole lot to these that if you're really imaginative and you draw one of these cards, you might get some clues off of the adjectives, verbs, nouns, etc. You might get some clues off the picture itself. Who am I encountering? What, you know, what's going on here? You know, look at these guys. They look very very suspicious in their faces, you know. So you might say these NPCs are very suspicious in nature. Or they're doing something that they don't want anybody to know about, and they're trying to figure out whether you know too much. You get your time off of this, your directions, etc. Like I said, this is a very multi-purpose tool. Combined with the dice and all these charts and such, it seems like it's going to just be off the rails good here. The book goes into talking about solo rules. One thing I like about this is called the Lone Wolf PC. Is instead of like all the other solo products that I've got that deal with D&D class and level systems, instead of creating a whole nother rule set to add on top of that rule set, Steve's went in here and he's just did things that are common sense. You know, start off with a level 3 character. Add some hit points to your character. And scale your game. Scale your game to what your character can handle. It doesn't mean that you always make your game easy, but have common sense with your character. You know, if I'm by myself and I go down the street and I run into 25 guys with knives, bats, and AK-47s, common sense tells me that I'm not going to try to enter combat with those guys. Yeah? Not unless I have some knives, bats, AK-47s, and maybe a hand grenade or something. We better be careful. YouTube will flag us. Yeah, but as a character, if you run into something that your character is like, anybody with common sense is going to run the other direction. You know, maybe come back later with a little bit of advantage, some more people, some better weapons, whatever. You know, that's the way to go with this, and that's what he's written here and portrayed. He gave some advice on using published adventures. The advice for published adventures is great if you're going to run a railroad style adventure or whatever. I'm going to come back at some point on the channel, this year hopefully, and I'm going to do a series on how to take any GM adventure for a group, party, whatever, even railroady ones, and show you how to turn them into sandbox adventures, utilizing tools that we've seen throughout this book. But again, like I said, nothing wrong with his way of doing it. You know, that you only read what you need and continue forward and see where you end up. I like that. You know, it works. I just like what I do a little bit better because I like the more sandbox style play. There's stuff in here about hex crawls and stuff. You guys know that I love hex crawling. Yeah, for the overworld. Again, here's your dungeon generator. And all types of stuff goes into your dungeon here. It's not just the standard room, corridor, treasure, random encounter kind of thing. So again, rooms, corridors, etc. Useful across, you know, these tables here. You can modify them to be a castle, an inn, a tavern, a shop, whatever your characters, old ruins, a dark forest, a mountain, wherever your characters are exploring. You can take these style tools, custom fit them with entries, and you're ready to go. Traps. I think he did traps fantastic here. There's all kind of traps, and you know, that you may encounter, and his system for traps and what traps are there are amazing. So I really like that. You get a treasure generator. Treasures based on, you know, maybe finding a hoard of treasure or maybe searching a dead body, etc. You'll get appropriate tables for such things to roll up to see what your characters can find. Maybe you're ransacking a certain type of shop. There may be a table in here that's specifically great for that, like trinkets and curios, or curio, and such things. Like I said, he's done a fantastic job with this treasure generator and that trap generator. In fact, everything I've seen has been fantastic so far. So like I said, there's no lack of tools here. No lack whatsoever. No lack of material for your gaming when it comes to character creation. From what I've seen of combat, magic, items, treasure, encounters, etc. Yeah, he gives you some variant rules. Talks about how to modify the rule system a little bit to work with other OSR style games, AD&D and such. And actually gave us an index. Thank you, Steve. There's too many writers out there, authors of role-playing games, that don't finish the book with an index. It drives me crazy. Yeah? Over here, again, we get some great tables. Let's see, I think they may be a little bit different. Yeah, they're a little bit different. This is awesome. You know, basically a full Game Master screen. This one actually has some tables for combat damages and such, statuses, etc. Quick and dirty NPC generator, supplies, and etc. This is a beautiful tome. I'm very much impressed. The quality here for all this stuff is amazing. Let me turn the camera around and we'll continue talking for a little bit on this and some other stuff probably, yeah? Guys, I'm so impressed by what I see here. Like I said, I don't mind putting myself out on the wire when I say that if this game plays how it looks, if this presentation represents uh, anywhere near the game that I'm going to get on the table, utilizing the rule system, the setting material, and the solo tools out of here, this is going to be the next big thing for solo gamers. Yeah? I'll always love Scarlet Heroes. Scarlet Heroes still stands as my recommended one-book resource. Because, again, this is not a review of Tales of Argosa. This is just a first look, talking about what we see, and taking a look at the book and the dice and the cards and such things. Everything's of an amazing quality. Yeah, a lot of love went into this. I can tell that right off the bat. But like I said, we're going to have to get this on the table. We're going to have to put it through its paces and see how, as a one-book resource, this works before we can give out any kind of recommendation or review. Yeah? I can do one recommendation here. Yeah, outside the rules, outside the setting material, the solo tools in here. Like I said, no matter what game you're playing, what rule set, what setting, etc., the tools look coherent enough that you would be able to get into some solo gaming utilizing these rules. Like I said, we got to play it and see where it stands. I'm so excited for it, though. Like I said, I'm very excited for this. It's just right up my alley. This ticks all the boxes. Big shout out to Steve, for sending it over. I can't believe it escaped my radar. A big shout out to Dungeon Dumbo for seeing it, getting it, and realizing, holy smokes, Deathstalker V is going to love this. Yeah? Our community around here, it's legendary. Yeah, it's legendary. It's fantastic that we have so many people that know me so well that they can actually make a game recommendation that wows me. Yeah? That's totally awesome. And Steve himself, the author behind this, he seems like a really fantastic guy. He's over in Australia, but I've enjoyed talking to him. He's super friendly. He's very knowledgeable with any questions and such. And yeah, I'm glad that he's here, part of our community as well. He's on our Discord server if anybody wants to go bug him. Yeah? Sorry, Steve. But again, I'm going to put links to Pickpocket Press. I think from their page you can find sets of the Oracle dice or the Bones of Fate. I know on Drive-Thru they have the PDF of the deck of signs and also the main core rule book and some other stuff. Please, if you're going to get the PDF or if you're going to get the print on demand from Drive-Thru, use the affiliate links. Really stuff that you purchase there. It helps us out. I'll tell you that looking at the PDF of this that Steve sent over, you guys using the affiliate links, we had enough built up in there that I was able to go grab the 3 adventure modules and such. We'll be waiting for those to come because I watched Dungeon Dumbo's opening of his package, and those adventures looked amazing in of themselves. Yeah, so you know me, I see something awesome, I go all in. So yeah, like I said, it's been a long time since an OSR game got me excited. One other one got me excited, we talked about it, that was Gunslinger. But it's not your typical OSR, it's a Wild West game, but for a fantasy OSR game, boy, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for it. Like I said, stay tuned. We'll come back with a review. We'll come back with, maybe we'll try to play just some Theater of the Mind, pen and paper adventures with Tales of Argosa. I don't know. We'll see what we have time for. We've got a ton of material to cover. As you guys can see, I'm putting out videos as fast as possible because we have a lot of catching up to do. Yeah? Anyway, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I I hope you're excited about this. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I've seen several people in our community are receiving copies. If you got your copy and you want to chime in anything, go ahead and throw it down there. I look forward to seeing what everyone has to say. I hear the wife calling me. It must be dinner time, so I'll see you guys next time here on the Random Encounter Show.
And this has been but one tale from the days of high adventure. You can join Deathstalker V on his quest by hitting that subscription button and joining his Random Encounter army. On the channel's About page, you will find our Facebook page and Facebook group where you can get more directly involved with the fun. And make sure you use our affiliate links to support our show.
The Random Encounter